Hey, what's up, folks? Well, I'm going to tell y'all a story about a $1,000 cat. Not too long ago, my wife was, she got a wild hair up her butt and she wanted to get a cat. And she was begging me and pleading and begging and pleading and begging and pleading. This went on for like 2 hours. Finally, I was just like, whatever, get your cat. See, I'm not a big fan of having a cat. I'm just not. It's not that I don't like them, because I don't mind cats. I don't mind dogs. I don't mind birds. I don't mind any of them. I just don't want the responsibility. But my wife does not mind it. And so as long as she doesn't mind it, I don't mind it. See, she wants this cat, and I finally say, whatever. During this story, you're going to hear me say, whatever, a few times. So she goes and gets this cat. She goes over to the pound. She gets this cat. They put a little chip in its neck, so if I ever want to get rid of it, it's going to come back to the house because the chip is going to tell them where the cat belongs. So I can't take the cat off. I wouldn't do that anyway. So we have this cat for about 3 weeks. And I tell my wife, I'm like, well, the cat really needs to be an outside cat. And she's like, oh yeah, I agree. We're gonna let the cat go outside and let him kind of get adjusted to it. I'm like, adjusted to it? It's a cat. So she lets the cat out, and she lets the cat in. She lets the cat out. She lets the cat in. Well, one day, I let the cat out. And I go take a nap in my recliner. And I'm not thinking about this stupid cat because it's a cat. She comes in running in the house. You gotta come outside. You gotta come outside. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just waking up. I'm like, slow down. What's the deal? You gotta come outside. You gotta get your ladder. You gotta go up the tree. You gotta get the cat. I'm like, what? What? She's like, the cat's in the tree and can't get down. I said, well, you do know that cats climb trees, right? Yeah, but this way he can't get out. I said, you do know that cats can climb down trees, right? It can't come out. It can't get out of the tree, she said. She kept saying that. I'm like, oh, I gotta see this. So I go outside. My son's out there. He's keeping an eye on the cat. My wife's over at the tree. She's freaking out. She's causing the cat up in the tree to freak out, which he was doing already. Going, meow, meow. He's jumping from branch to branch, trying to figure out a way to get down. And I watch it for a little bit, and I yell at my son, hey, Nick, go get the camera. I want to film this. He's like, oh, Dad, And I'm like, whatever, all right, just whatever. So I said, I start to realize at that point that cat ain't coming out of that tree. It's too dumb. This is the same cat that got his head stuck in a rim, and he was like this, and he couldn't come out. We had to put, what was it we put? We put Pam around him, the cooking spray Pam, to slick his head up so he could slide it out of there, and he finally got out of there. So this cat already not the brightest bulb in the box. So anyway, so the cat's up there. I'm getting concerned at this point, so I reach up to the top of my truck to grab the ladder. As soon as I got my hand on the ladder, I'm watching, and while I'm getting the ladder, I'm watching the stupid cat. And the cat jumped over to a branch and missed. And when he missed that branch, he bounced off of it. When he bounced off of it, he bounced on every other branch on the way down, about 30 foot in the air, and smacked the concrete. And for you people that think that cats land on their feet, let me tell you something. Not from 30 foot in the air, they don't. Anyway, so he smacks the ground, smacks the concrete. My wife's all flipping out at this point. She's, oh! She goes running over to the cat. Now, she was trying to catch the cat. She was telling the cat, come on, jump down, I'll catch you. Now, I'm not making fun of my wife, because I'm really not. But I am giving you a play-by-play on what was happening with this stupid cat up in the tree. So anyway, the cat hits the ground. Smack! Just like you would throw a side of beef out on the ground. Smack! I'll never forget the sound. So anyway, she runs over to the cat. The cat's just laying there. He don't know what to do. He's still alive. And I'm like, oh my God, this cat's going to die. Then I'm going to be in trouble. I don't want to be in trouble. So I'm like, man, please, 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 please. But I'm thinking the worst, just like she's thinking the worst. My son, he's all freaking out about it too. And so she goes over there and she picks him up, and she's in tears at this point. And she's like, "Oh, the cat's not breathing. Oh, I gotta take him to the vet." And I'm like, "There ain't no vet open. I gotta take him to the emergency vet." I'm like, "Oh my God. Okay, whatever." So she gets in the car. My son goes with her. They take off to go to the emergency vet, which is about 30 miles down the road. It's not that far, but it's quite a distance away. So she gets to the emergency vet. She calls me back in about 3 hours. And I'm dreading it. I'm dreading it because I know if this cat dies, I'm going to pay for it. So she called me and she said, "Well, they think the cat's going to be okay." I was like, "Really? That cat just fell 30 foot. Didn't land on its feet, but landed on its side. And you're telling me that cat's going to be okay?" "Yeah, they're checking for internal bleeding right now, and they're not quite sure. They say its leg's not broke." And I'm like, "Really?" "Yeah, because it's kind of limping, or not limping, but favoring one leg." And I'm like, "Wow, that's a hell of a cat." So anyway, she called me back. She said, "Okay, we're on our way home, and we'll be there in just a little bit." They drugged this cat up, so it's not feeling any pain. It don't even know its name. It don't know it's got a tail. Hell, it don't even know it's got a messed up leg at this point. It don't know anything. So she brings it home. She gets it all situated in this little bed, and he lays in this bed for the next 4 days. He's drugged up. He ain't got no choice. He tries to get up, and then as soon as he tries to get up, she's like, "Oh," she feeds him some more painkillers. Knocks his ass back out. So anyway, so this went on for like 4 days till the painkillers were gone. And the cat's doing, it's moving around, but it's favoring one leg, and it's limping around. It looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, man. It's just dragging its one back leg. She's like, "I got to take the cat to the vet." I was like, "Well, what about what they did to him at the emergency vet? That was $580 right there." "Oh, yeah, but we got health insurance." Now, when she got this cat, they offered her Obamacare for cats, pets. And I'm like, pet insurance? Really? Really? "Oh, yeah, everybody's getting it." I'm like, whatever. Whatever. So anyway, so she takes the cat to the regular vet 4 days after he had his little leap of faith. She takes the cat over to the vet, and they do x-rays again. What they do with the cat's leg is they say they couldn't find anything in the x-rays, and they said, "Well, it's probably a torn ACL." So they pop it back in place. Well, in order to keep it in place, they put it in a splint. Just like this one, and it's just like this one because this is the exact splint they put on that $1,000 cat's leg. So they send her home, say, if everything's going to go okay, can't really find anything wrong with the cat. So just keep this on him for like 2 weeks. Now, when they wrapped this cat up, they wrapped it up with tape, and we were supposed to leave it on for 2 weeks. Well, she calls me after she leaves the vet, and she said, I said, "Well, how did it go, And she said, "Well, everything's going to be okay. They said the cat had a messed up ACL, and they popped it back in place, and they put the cat in a splint." And I'm like, putting the cat in a splint is like putting the cat on a leash. It just don't work. So I said, "Well, how long is the cat got to be in the splint?" "For 2 weeks." Well, I laughed because I'm like, there's no way this cat's going to be in that splint for 2 weeks. There's just no way. Cats don't, that's just it. You put it on a dog, and then put that little collar around the dog, and the dog is, you've seen them all. They look like a lamp. So she's like, "All right." So she gets home. She went at home 20 minutes. The splint was on the back right-hand leg, because that's the one that he was dragging around. I mean, before she took him to the vet, this cat was trying to jump, and it would miss every time because it couldn't get all fours on what it was jumping on, so it would fall. So she brings the cat home. 20 minutes after she got home, the cat had got its front leg stuck in between the splint and the back leg, and it couldn't get it off, which it was trying to do, and she couldn't get its front leg out of there. And she said that cat was screaming bloody murder like a cat in heat. She thought one of the dogs had went in there and was just tearing this cat up, but the cat was trying to get that splint off. So she said she had to go run, get the scissors, and cut the splint off. She said as soon as I got the splint cut off, the cat shut up and walked around the house like nothing ever happened. I bet it doesn't even remember falling out of the tree and hitting the ground on its side. So anyway, when she first got this cat, they offered her Obamacare for cats, or for pets. And, I was like, you're not going to pay for pet insurance. Oh, yeah, I am. Oh, yeah, I am. Well, I'm glad she did, because I wound up spending about $1,000 on this cat. Just over $1,000. So that's why I call it the $1,000 cat. And the good news is that the cat's okay. My wife's fine. Everybody's fine. The cat can't go outside anymore because she's terrified it's going to climb a tree again. And if it does, well, that's a cat. So anyway, the pet insurance, Obamacare for cats, is going to pay for 90% of everything. We just have to pay $100 deductible and then 10% of the repairs. And then the insurance will pick up the other 90%, which is cool, So all in all, everything turned out okay. The cat's fine. I'm joking around about it. It was kind of funny. Oh, it wasn't funny. It's funny now when I think back on it and the cat's okay. So that's the story of the $1,000 cat. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, we'll see you later.